So today we're going deep on artificial intelligence.
Impact the intelligence community.
Yeah, and for this one, we've got a really interesting article from the CIA's own journal, Studies in Intelligence.
It's called The Incalculable Element, The Promise and Peril of Artificial Intelligence. Yeah, and this is written by Zachary Tyson Brown.
Okay.
Now, he's interesting because he's not just some tech guy.
Right.
He's a national security futurist.
Okay.
He's also an Army vet and then a former intel officer.
Let's get into it.
Sure.
Can you break that down for us a little bit?
GPT, Google's,
Those are big in the news these days.
hugely
What do you mean create?
crunching numbers or sorting through data.
Yeah.
This stuff can actually write poems, compose music, even create images and videos that look totally real.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
Okay. The world of intelligence.
Well, imagine being able to instantly analyze millions of documents, social media posts, news articles, all that stuff.
That's a lot of data.
It is. And AI could help spot those patterns and connections that, even the best human analyst might miss.
So that's the promise part. Okay.
Right.
What's the downside here? How?
Well, I mean, it's unlike chess or predicting the stock market,
More clear cut.
Much more, yeah. Intelligence is all about incomplete information, unreliable sources, stuff that's even deliberately misleading.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And there's this great quote that the author uses from Michael Hayden.
Who's that?
He was the director of the NSA and the CIA.
Right.
And he said, if it were a fact, it wouldn't be intelligence.
Huh. That's pretty good.
Right. So, I mean, how do you train an AI to analyze something that's inherently designed to be, unanalyzable?
That's the peril.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to program that into a machine.
Right. It's that the author calls it tacit knowledge.
Tacit knowledge.
Things that we know from experience but can't really explain.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so even if the AI could analyze a ton of reports, it might miss the deeper meaning.
The nuances.
The nuances, yeah.
The context, the motivations, all of that.
Okay.
I can't forget that.
So you've got countries and organizations trying to, outsmart each other, spread disinformation.
It's a constant game of cat and mouse, right? I mean,
Yeah.
AI could be used to create even more convincing disinformation and propaganda.
Like fake news articles and stuff.
Exactly.
Even like deepfakes.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Think about terrorist groups, criminal organizations. Anyone with an agenda could potentially use AI for this stuff.
Wow, so it's a double-edged sword, this AI stuff.
That really is.
So, okay, we've talked about the limitations of AI, but does that mean it has no place in the intelligence community at all?
Well, the author doesn't think so.
Yeah.
He actually argues that AI should be seen as a tool to augment human intelligence.
Augment, not replace.
Right.
A prosthetic.
Yeah, something that enhances our capabilities but doesn't make us less human. Exactly.
That's interesting. I like that, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
So what could go wrong, even if we're careful?
Well, there was a study that the author mentioned that found that people who rely too heavily on AI actually become less effective over time.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's like they're falling asleep at the wheel, letting the AI do all the thinking for them.
So it's almost like AI can make us dumber in the long run.
It's a risk, a real risk. And it's not just about laziness, it's about maintaining those critical thinking skills that are so essential for good intelligence analysis.
Okay, so that's a lot to think about.
It is, and we'll delve into some of the potential solutions in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. Stay tuned, folks. Welcome back to our deep dive on AI in the intelligence community.
We've been talking about how AI could really shake things up in the intelligence world.
Yeah, the potential is huge,
Yeah.
but there are definitely some risks too.
Exactly.
Like we were talking about before, becoming too reliant on AI.
Right, that whole falling asleep at the wheel idea.
Yeah, and letting our own analytical skills kind of fade away.
It's a real worry and just one of many challenges, if we want to use AI responsibly.
Mitigate those risks.
Well, the key is, and our author, Zachary Tyson Brown, really emphasizes this, is to remember AI is a tool.
Okay.
It's like a high-powered telescope for intelligence analysts.
I like that analogy.
So it can help us see things, more clearly further away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't replace the need for, a skilled astronomer who can actually interpret what they're seeing.
Right. You still need that human expertise.
Exactly.
So instead of trying to create an AI that can, replace human analysts.
Right.
We should focus on building AI that can help them do their jobs better.
Exactly. Let AI handle those tedious tasks like sifting through tons of data.
Yeah.
So human analysts can focus on, the stuff that requires judgment, intuition, creativity.
Like connecting the dots and making sense of the bigger picture.
That's it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this brings us to, I think, one of the most important things when it comes to AI.
What's that?
Transparency.
Transparency, okay.
We got to be able to understand how these AI systems are reaching their conclusions. Exactly. We can't just have a black box that spits out answers.
Right. We need to know how it's thinking.
Otherwise, how can we be sure it's thinking correctly?
Or if it's biased in some way.
Exactly. And it's not just about understanding the AI itself.
Okay.
It's also about making sure the data it's trained on is, diverse, representative of the real world.
So kind of like giving the AI a well-rounded education.
Exactly. Expose it to different cultures, perspectives, ways of thinking.
To avoid those narrow viewpoints.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got the tech side.
That's crucial too.
Yeah.
We need training programs, education, to teach analysts how to actually work with these AI systems.
So it's not just teaching the AI to think.
Right. Work together. Exactly.
But it also sounds really challenging. Right.
Yeah.
So is it even possible?
But it depends on us.
On us.
Yeah, our willingness to, embrace these new technologies, but also recognize their limitations.
Okay.
And our commitment to using AI in a way that, upholds human values, human rights.
So it's not just a tech challenge.
No.
It's a moral and ethical challenge, too.
Explore both the good and the bad.
Promise and the peril, not the other way around. So where do we go from here? What's the next step?
Well, that's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll look at some of the steps being taken to develop and deploy AI responsibly.
Sounds good. Stay tuned, folks. Haven't we? For intelligence work, bias, transparency.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's clear that AI could really change the game when it comes to intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Definitely not.
Where do we go from here 10, 20 years down the line? If anything, it's speeding up.
Exactly.
Give me an example.
Well, natural language processing, for one.
Yeah.
Machine learning, computer vision, all that's evolving incredibly fast.
And all that's going to impact the intelligence community, right?
Huge. I mean, imagine AI systems that don't just analyze data,
Yeah.
They actually understand human language.
Wow.
Culture, psychology, all of that, right? Gathering info from social media, news articles, all that public stuff. And AI could help analysts make sense of it all, way faster and more efficiently.
So it's like having a whole team of experts working around the clock.
Kind of, yeah. A team of superpowered analysts, without the coffee breaks.
No coffee breaks. I like it.
And it's not just analysis, AI could also be a game changer for cybersecurity.
Sure, security, right.
Helping to, identify threats, neutralize them, all in real time.
So we're talking about AI that could actually predict and prevent cyber attacks.
Let's hope. At least, always staying one step ahead of the bad guys.
Okay, so it's all pretty amazing stuff.
It really is. But we got to remember, AI is not a silver bullet.
Right? It's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. Right. And that means thinking not just about what AI can do, but what it should do.
Okay.
And those are decisions that, ultimately humans need to be making.
Not the algorithms themselves.
We got to stay in control. Yeah.
AI could lead us to, a better future,
A safer future.
a more secure,
informed.
but it could also lead us down a darker path, right?
It could. One where our privacy is gone, our freedoms are restricted, even, our humanity is questioned.
Wow. That's a pretty stark contrast.
It is a real fork in the road.
And which path we take depends on us. Yeah.
On the choices we make today, how we develop AI, how we use it.
So we got to choose wisely.
Absolutely. Because the future of intelligence, it's not just about technology, it's about values.
About purpose.
And making sure AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Remember that AI, it's not some, sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
It's here. Exactly.
Great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of AI in the intelligence community. It's been fascinating. And as always, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the knowledge that shapes our world.